Okay guys, I'm here with part 2 of my first screen video and backrooms video. I forgot to tell you that was actually my first part, so sorry about that, but this is part 2 guys. And let's just go over here, and then here. By the way guys, I'll actually introduce you to my YouTube channel. Here, I'll introduce you to it to show you what I actually have here for a second here. And by the way, hit the video right below that. I might do that one. If this video can get 100 likes, then I will. Anyways, you see that cat profile right there? That's me. That's mine. See? My YouTube channel, my videos. By the way, thank you guys for hitting 55 views on that one, 3 views on that one, 17 views on that one, and 4 views on this one. And also this one, my first phone and backrooms video, that was part 1. I recommend you watch that first, but now, time for the second one. Guys, anyways, here I go, then there. And actually, I'll just let me see here. I'll just search this up, guys. I'm actually don't know what to do here. Okay, let's continue with this here, right here. Let's continue this.
To the ones who give it their all,
and an ad.
To give you our all. High quality
like I said, guys, this is an ad free, and also this video is gonna end whenever it does. Okay.
So if you remember, way back in the day, there was a level called the...
Okay, so this okay, so before we get back, what I must say is, real quick, is that I don't have anything to say at the end, so this is just going to go on for however long, and then it will just end. I won't say anything about it, okay? So bye. Well, actually, not bye. Hi. And also, guys, have a good day and night, too. For me, it's currently night. And I hope you guys get a good night's sleep and time to continue on with this.
Forest. Now, I actually featured this level in the first safest backrooms level video on the channel, which you can still see. But since then, it has seemingly disappeared. And this new level 9.1 might be what's left of it. This level entry starts out with a little audio log that says, quote, did a quick write-up of that new crater thingy where those funky fields used to be at. So yeah, those funky fields might just be referring to the Crimson Fields, which were near the Crimson Forest, perhaps. Backrooms level 9.1 is classified as a class pending, and it doesn't have a determined safety, and there hasn't been any entities found either. Not much is known about it. The level itself is a sub-level of the normal level 9, which I've made a full video on, if you're interested in checking that out. But the area looks like a huge impact crater, like the ones that a meteor would make. The crater itself is around 20 kilometers wide, or around 12 miles, and it seems to be completely barren. Like there's no grass, no trees, water, or any vegetation of any kind. There's quite literally nothing that points to life here, which almost makes it seem like some sort of extinction event might have happened. Maybe a catastrophe of some sort. Maybe. There's no day or night cycle either, which means the sun is constantly above you in the sky. It doesn't say what the temperature is, but I'd say if the sun's always above you, then it's gonna be pretty warm. Now, the reason this level is called level 9.1, just like the Crimson Forest used to be called that, is because the way the Wanderer that NoClipped here got here is literally almost the same way that the Crimson Forest used to be accessed. So the main theory as of right now is that this crater is the last remnants of the old Crimson Forest. But it's just that, a theory. There's no concrete evidence that this is where the Crimson Field and Forest used to be, just a bunch of speculation. And it could be just a massive coincidence that it's accessed the same way as the old Crimson Forest was. Who knows? To enter this huge, barren crater, you have to walk away from the main streets in level 9, like as far out as you can, and then you'll be sent here. The grass of level 9 will start to slowly transform into rocky sand and dirt, and then it'll eventually go from darkness that level 9 is in to the light, which level 9.1 this level is in. To exit the level, you have to walk down to the crater, and in the very middle of it, you'll find a couple small holes that you can jump into, and then you gotta just jump into them, and you'll be sent back to level 9. So that's pretty neat. Now, at the bottom of the level entry, there is another small audio log that replies to the first one that I read at the beginning. This one says, quote, "Now about the theory section. I don't really see where you're coming from with the Crimson Forest hypothesis. There's no real solid ground for it to stand on. First of all, correlation does not equal causation. The crater could have been caused by a number of different things. Secondly, the crater was discovered several days before we lost contact with CF. Crimson Field. So there's no way it can be what's left of the forest. I understand that it's difficult to process, and I know grieving takes on many forms, but coming up with these kinds of desperate explanations isn't healthy. I know that may sound harsh, but these are the words you need to hear right now. She's gone, Mac. My general advice is this. Wait for more information about the crater to come back, and then you can write a draft for it, providing that you keep it to the facts. Thank you." End quote. So yeah, as you can see, this Meg officer is a Debbie Downer and says that there is no way that this crater is what's left of the Crimson Forest. But what does he know? The Meg officer also says that this area was found just a few days before all contact was lost from the Crimson Forest, which is pretty interesting if you ask me. Now, Meg says this isn't what destroyed the famous Crimson Forest, but that still leaves a huge question unanswered to me. What happened to the Crimson Field and Forest and the hundreds of people living in it? They could have just vanished. And I really find it interesting that the exact same way you get to this crater level is the same way you used to get to the Crimson Forest level. That cannot be a coincidence. What do you think? And interestingly enough, this Crimson Forest disappearance is not the only level that's been destroyed or has disappeared. People on Backrooms level 22 had disappeared, and there were thousands at one point in time, as well as the entirety of Backrooms level 78 being destroyed by a meteor. So if you do want to make the connection that the Crimson Forest possibly blew up or was incinerated by a meteor, you can look to level 78, which happened the exact same way. The only difference is that 78 did take place in space, where meteors are, but nevertheless, it was destroyed by a massive meteor-type thing. So the Backrooms is no stranger to destroying itself. The only question is, who's destroying everything? And if you're new to the Backrooms and that kind of thing, and you'll want to learn more about the Crimson Forest and the Crimson Field, what it used to be, there's a video on my channel about it. I'll link in the description. There's also a really cool found footage video from Frag2 about the Crimson Forest. So I'll link that below as well. I reacted to it on Tuli a little bit ago, but go watch that video. It will show you why the Crimson Forest used to be so awesome, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
Okay, before you do that, let's check out that found footage. See if we can actually see it in the description. Where's the description again? How do you get to that? How do you get the description? Right, you click more. Looking for something. By the way, I don't know why I was being so silent. But, anyways, I'm here. Let's see here. Where is it? He said he would link it down here somewhere. Let's go to Ugly here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Can't find it. Yeah, view channel. your channel real quick. Let me see here. See. Videos. That's where it ended. Let's see, where is it? Level 5 found footage. Okay. Guess I won't watch it. Anyways, let's just continue on with this. I'll search it up sometime. Backrooms Level Darkness. I feel that
Backrooms Level -3, or of light and darkness, is a very, very dangerous place. And dangerous is an understatement. It's classified as a class Mirage difficulty for having psychological reality warping geometry and deceptive influences. And I'll explain what all that means in a second, but pretty much it means that nothing is as it seems. The level is located deep into the back room somewhere, and it physically might be the smallest level ever found, cut up into a bunch of parts. In fact, it's made up of a bunch of small cubicle rooms, pretty much just small squares. Each of these cubic rooms has 4 walls, except the walls are not just material, they're mirrors. So all 4 walls in each room you're in will be mirrors. And the mirrors are facing inwards towards each other, which is creating an infinite reflection on all sides. Now, it's not the mirrors themselves that make the level creepy, it's actually what you see in the mirror. When you're in the first cube, you'll see your own reflection, pretty normal. And you'll see that for the first few rooms at least. And the good news is, you aren't stuck in one room forever. But that's also bad news because it just gets worse. Now, to exit the rooms, you'll need to look for a part of the mirror that doesn't look completely solid. It kind of looks like it's waving water, and then you can just walk directly through it. And if you do walk through the mirror, you'll be sent to an exact copy of that same room, except each time you do this, go from one room through the mirror to the next room, you'll notice that the mirror will become more cracked and more imperfect, and you'll also notice something creepy looking back at you in the reflection. And it's not your own reflection at this point, because as you get deeper into this labyrinth of cubic rooms, you'll start to see a more mangled abomination of yourself, like a decayed zombie or skeleton looking back at you instead of your normal reflection. Each time the image will get more and more distorted and gross and kind of like you're looking into a funhouse mirror from a carnival, except it's way creepier and creepier. It also doesn't really make any sense that you can see your reflection because there's no light in the cube rooms. Instead, the light comes from the reflection itself. And since there's just infinite reflections, you can hardly tell where anything is. It's hard to find any depth perception. In fact, your brain will be so overwhelmed that you'll get terrible migraines and headaches. And on top of those migraines, you'll get confused and terrified and scared, which will eventually make you have panic attacks and, you'll go nuts. So yeah, that's not fun. You'll eventually get so far deep into these small cubic rooms and these mirrors to the point where the reflections of you aren't even reflections. They act like their own entity and kind of move on their own. They almost kind of shadow what you do, except they don't move exactly when you move, and they look gross and disgusting, and they seem to just move around behind the mirror as they will. Of course, at first, you'll think that this is because you're going crazy or losing your mind, and you won't think anything of it. But as you keep going deeper and deeper, you'll start to accept that they're not your reflection and that they're trying to hurt you. And at that point, these reflections will start to talk to you and verbally you. They'll sling insults at you, they'll give you false information, they'll scream at the top of their lungs. And keep in mind, this whole time you'll be trapped in different rooms with each wall being a mirror, so it's not like you can go anywhere. And sometimes these entities in the mirror will even convince the wanderer to walk to places in the floor that aren't solid and it can be fallen through. So they'll literally walk you to a hole you can fall through and hurt yourself. And if you do that, guess what? you'll land in another mirror room with more reflections. If you don't find the exit to the level, then you could be stuck in this infinite loop of small mirrored room with monsters looking back at you from the mirrors.
Wow.
So you're probably going to want to listen to the exit section. And this is a quote from a wanderer that came here that they jotted down in a journal. The voice beckoned me to free it, repeatedly and desperately telling me, please, you're making a mistake. Don't just sit there. Let me out of this prison. Don't end up like me. When I opened my eyes, I saw my reflection persistently slamming her fist into the wall to my left. The glass was cracking more with each successive punch, and I stumbled back in fear, unprepared to confront whatever could step through that wall once it broke. However, I must have backed up too much, such that I went through the wall, into the same room. In fact, though my rogue reflection was gone, my nightmare did not end there, unfortunately. All around me, I saw some mirror walls gradually fracturing. Even when my reflections on those walls displayed my same panicked expressions and conformed to match every move I made. What an adrenaline rush. I traversed this maze of mirrors for what seemed to be several minutes, running towards mirrors that lacked visible cracks and just closing my eyes before I made impact. Was I escaping my own self, or was it something else? So yeah, as you can see, this person is crazy. They're running away from their own reflection, and this will happen the deeper you get to this level. To enter, you have to walk through a mirror that's not made out of glass on level 365, and to exit is pretty hard. You have to find something to break the mirror that you're staring at, and hope that behind the mirror is a tiled bathroom or tiled room behind it. And if you see that tiled room, it'll be some kind of bathroom in a random backrooms level. And if you plan on walking through it, you better hurry, because the mirrors heal and fix themselves. So you have to be careful when breaking them, because you don't want to hurt yourself and you don't want to be trapped. Just make sure you jump through it after you break it. Sometimes the mirrors can lead to nothing, just a blank void. And if you go through that, no one knows where you go. So that's fun.
Interesting. Anyways, sorry I didn't talk that much, guys.
So, Backrooms level 998 is now classified as a class variable difficulty because its safety, security, and entity count can change randomly depending on where you're at in the level. Before this, the level was actually classified as a class 5. So it's a pretty new change. The level itself is a blank, flat plane that expands out in all directions, and it's split up into 3 distinct zones or areas, which I'll be going over in a minute. Now, the main and biggest plane of the level looks like it's made out of clouds, but that's just an illusion because the whole thing is table flat. It's not puffy clouds, it's flat. But an image of clouds has been stamped into the floor somehow, and the texture of this floor is kind of like a wool in a way. It's rough and bumpy, but it is table flat, and there's literally no change in elevation. Now, this level is unlike most other levels when it comes to the entrances, because every entrance to this place brings everyone to the same spot, which is at the bottom floor of a big concrete stairwell. Now, there are 8 flights of stairs in total, and it's at the very top of the stairs where you can see the big cloud floor thing. And at the top of the stairs, there's a blank, empty room that has that doorway to look out, and in this room, there's something pretty sad, I gotta say. Along the floor of the room, there are a bunch of pebbles that have been lined up and kind of thrown into the corner. These pebbles and stones are kind of like mementos or tokens of people who have willingly traveled here, and they left them as a kind of a reminder to those who were coming. You know, that they've been here and are gone now. It's kind of like people who leave those locks chained into fences. It's the same thing. Kind of sad, man. So, when you go out of the doorway of this room and you look into that huge plane of cloud wool floor deal, you can actually look back at the room you just came out of, and you'll see that it's just a small plain box. Like a Minecraft house. There's literally nothing on it. It's just a plain, small, square room. The roof of this box room is actually a skylight, and you can see the skylight all the way from the bottom staircase level, which is pretty cool. Now, you can walk on this flat cloud plane thing for a long time, specifically around 30 kilometers, or 18 miles to be exact, and it's after that distance when the level will start to change. The perfectly white cloudy floor that you're standing on will start to morph into a dark and gray floor, and the blue sky above you will start to shift into a gloomy gray sky. This is the second zone of the level, the gray zone. At At this point, a breeze will start to blow that makes the area freezing cold, like really cold. And the further you go into it, the darker and colder and more dangerous it'll get. And it's not just dark skies and breezes that you're going to have to worry about. There's entities here too, people. There are other things, which I'll get into in a second, but the entities that are here are mainly smilers and skin stealers and dullers and that type of thing. But there are also unknown and undocumented humanoid entities that have spawned here too. People have no idea what they are, but they've seen them in the distance. The entities seem to not be interested in you, and they kind of just walk around without chasing you. It's like they don't even see where you're at. But it would still be scary to see all of them, and they're aggressive if you kind of instigate a fight. Like, if you run up to one and push it, it's gonna fight back. But if you ignore them and just give them their space, you should be okay. Now, as I just said, going deep enough into this gray section will eventually lead you into what most people think is the last area of the level. It's just called the Black Haze. At this point, the floor and the sky are both black. Bad weather will start to appear, storms will start to rage, and the wind will be blowing super aggressively. Like, it'll be blowing so hard it can knock you off of your feet, and it'll rain for long periods of time. There's been thunder and lightning strikes seen here as well, and overall it's just this really turbulent and volatile area. It's also believed that in the stormy section, there are way more entities than in the gray section, so you're going to need to avoid those too. Now, if you're crazy or determined or just dumb and decide to keep walking through this black section, you'll eventually get to the quote-unquote edge of the level, which is just a wall of black clouds. No one knows how far out this wall is because it's kind of just hearsay and myth and legend that it exists. But at this point, the storms are said to get worse and the winds are said to be like a tornado. No one knows what's past this black cloudy point. There's been no pictures past it or anything, and the last picture that we have is one of the black cloud wall. And as I said, no one knows what's back there. But there are some theories on what is back there, and I'll get into those now. There was a rumor that started a long time ago in the back rooms that level 998 is some sort of dangerous trial that you can complete to get to a safe haven level, or even to escape the back rooms as a whole. But since no one's passed that black cloud wall, no one even knows if there's anything back there. It's said that most people who have come to this level have been adventurers or people who have just lost all ambition and are seeking a final resting spot. So they come here knowing that they might not get out. It's pretty sad, man, I gotta say. But I don't care how bad it gets to me in the back rooms, I'm not gonna try to go to the black zone. It seems terrifying. The other main theory is that there's just nothing behind the black cloud wall. But that's no fun, now is it? It's pretty easy to enter this level because there are an estimated 200 entrances. That's right, 200. But the entrance is a simple double white metal door that will appear on random levels. You just gotta open the door, walk through, and you'll be sent to the bottom of the staircase here on level 998. Now, the exit portion isn't as certain because there's no for sure way to leave. Like I said, some people think that past the black zone, there's a safe haven that's really relaxing and you could be there forever, kind of like a heaven, but no one knows if that's real or not. People could be crazy. But most people that come here know what they're getting into and they know that there's no escape, so they kind of just accept that they're going to be stuck here, or that they won't make it past the storms. Let me know in the comments what your theories are about this level. I mean, what do you think's past the black wall of clouds? Why do you think the level exists? Who do you think made it? My personal theory is that something important is behind the clouds, and one day, we might know if that's true or not.
What's Backrooms called? 995.
So Backrooms level 995, or as it's commonly known, Reality Aligned Houses, is classified as class 4 difficulty because it's unsafe and unsecure, and it's also very volatile and glitchy. And you're going to hear why in a second. The level itself looks like a never-ending straight road with houses on both sides of it. Trying to go off this road and get behind the houses is nearly impossible because of how strange the level's geometry is. So with real-life regular geometry, it works the way where you can just walk one direction and not stop until you obviously hit a wall. But for this level, the geometry of the reality here is so glitchy and messed up that you can't even walk, even though it looks like you can. It just won't let you walk back. In front of these houses, there's a bunch of cars. Most of them don't work because they're either missing parts like engines or motors, or sometimes steering wheels, but some of them do work. Inside of the cars, there might be some random objects or tools that you can use. These artifacts and tools seem to all be random and strange and have no real meaning, but they're also found inside of the houses too. Now, you can only get into some of the houses on this level, and if you do go inside of them, they look very liminal and almost like a real life house. And some people have claimed that they've even seen friends and family members' houses here. And speaking of the houses, I'm going to talk a little bit about them now because they're very interesting to say the least. For the most part, they all resemble each other pretty closely. However, sometimes there is an instance where a different looking house will be in the row. And when you interact with those houses that look different, that's when the weird things will start to happen. The entry calls these weird things spatial distortions, which pretty much means that the environment will start to warp and change itself into something else. Typically, it'll change itself to a very liminal and nostalgic looking place, and you will really get the feeling like you've seen it or been there before. Almost like the entire level morphs into a dream of some kind. And during these dream sequences, many people have reported seeing houses moving and glitching and just floating and other random things being warped like that. Also, during these spatial distortions, the light on the level can be changed randomly from bright to dark to dim without warning. Overall, this level is so volatile and just very morphy and glitchy that you probably should avoid interacting with it. Even the entities on the level itself are affected by these distortions because they look weirder and they behave more out of the ordinary for their species, and everything is just different about them. The entities that are mainly found here are the normal backrooms entities like wretches, death moths, hounds, that kind of thing. But they're all glitchy and they all warp in and out of existence, just like the rest of the level seems to. Now, there are a bunch of theories on why this level warps in and out of what you can see and what you can perceive. And one of them is called the glitched reality theory.
I'm going to end it right here, guys. So I'm just going to end it right here for now. And I'll just see you guys later. So, yeah, that's all I can say is bye.